Hi students, now the next topic is hardwired control unit. Generally in the computer system the CPU plays a major role, okay? That is for perform if you want to perform any action or else the processor performs any action compulsory we required control signals. So that control signals provides control unit, so that's why we call it as central processing unit is a major part. So in that control unit plays a major role for sending, for requesting control signals or else for sending control signals. Control unit plays a major role, okay? So in that for to execute an instructions the processor must have, to execute an instructions, the processor must have some means of generating the control signals needed in the proper sequence. That means for executing an instruction, so we have a control signals, we need control signals, okay? So we need control signals in the proper sequence for executing an instruction, okay? So generally we have two controls, like that is two categories are there, that is hardwired control and second one is microprogrammed control. So let us discuss the in detail about control unit. Later we will discuss the microprogrammed control unit, okay? So coming to the hardwired control. So in the hardwired system can operate at high speed but little flexibility. So it provides high speed but somewhat little flexibility. So we will discuss this in later. So each step in the execution of an instruction sequence is completed in one clock period. So already we discussed this thing, one clock period. So for execution of an instruction, it takes one clock period, okay, for each step. So each step in execution of an instruction sequence is completed in one clock period, okay? Next, coming to a counter may be used to keep track of the control steps. So this is the diagram, okay? So in this diagram we have a counter, okay? This is a counter step, okay, control step counter, okay? So this counter may be used to keep tracks of control steps. So with the help of this control step counter we have to keep track of the control steps, okay? Next, coming to each state or a count of this counter corresponds to one control step. That means here we write these are the T1, T2 and so on Tn. So for each step, so each step or each count of this counter corresponds to one control step, okay? Excuse me. So the required control signals are determined by the following information. So how these control signals are coming? So with the help of these four information, sometimes the contents of the control step counter. So with the help of control step we got control signals. Next one is contents of the instruction register, okay? If you have an instruction register, so with the help of instruction for executing an instruction register we required control signals. For executing control step counter, okay, we require control signals, okay? After the another one is external input. So the external inputs are like interrupt signals, okay? MFC is memory function to complete, okay? So these are the some external signals. So for some external signals we require control signals, okay? So next one is condition codes. Coming to the condition codes like flags, status, okay? That means, so if you want to get control signals, we have to give information to this encoder or decoder is a combinational circuit, okay? We have to give the information to this like control step counter. That means how many steps are going to be executed, okay? With the help of counter we have to keep track of these control steps, okay? That means in different timing signals we are going to be execute control signals. That's why here different timing signals are there. Okay, this coming to the instruction register. Okay, so in this instruction register, so for execution of an instruction we have so many instructions. Okay, sub instructions also there. So for that purpose we need control signals. Okay, and for the external input, so external inputs are like interrupt signals, MFC signals. Okay, for this also we want control signals, so this decoder and encoder provides a control signals for this. And then next one is condition codes. So this condition codes are also condition codes are best examples are status. Okay, like in previous videos we discussed condition codes like for non-zero n. Okay, for z, s, sign bit for sign bit. Okay, so you refer that. So that type of condition codes also it provides a control signal. So finally for executing of an instruction we have to generate a control signals in a proper sequence. Okay, so this is the control unit. This is the control unit organization. How we are going to be organize the control unit? This is the diagram for that. Okay, so this is the detailed. So this is the detailed organization of control unit. Okay, so here the as it is same this above diagram, but here we have instruction code and step decoder. Okay, so this is the in detail diagram of the control unit organization. So with the help of the clock we get the control step counter. Okay, then instruction register sends in previous diagram instruction register directly sends to the encoder decoder combinational circuit, but in this it sends first it sends the information to instruction decoder. So whatever the data in the IR register are in encoded format. Okay, that encoded format we are going to be decoded. So with the help of instruction decoder we are going to be decoded. Okay, so here so many instructions are there, instruction 1, instruction 2 and so on, instruction n. So for executing of an instructions we have so many instructions. Okay, so many sub instructions are there. So these are the sub instructions. So all these data is sent to encoder. Okay, so here a step decoder. So in this step decoder, so whatever the data in a counter that is in encoded format. Okay, so but with the help of step decoder we are going to be decoded. Okay, so in different clock cycles different control steps are going to be executed. So that's why here we have different clock cycles. Okay, T1, T2 and so on Tn. So this as usual external inputs, like external inputs are already discussed in previous slide, that is interrupt signals, MFC signals. Okay, then condition codes, flags, status. Okay, so finally we got a control signals. With the help of all these information we got the control signals. Okay, so hard divide control is a method of control unit design. The control signals are generated by using logical circuits as gates, flip-flops and decoders. Okay, so decoder and encoder block is a combinational circuit that generates a required control outputs depending on the state of the all inputs. Means this decoder or encoder is a combinational circuit. It gives the output based on the input. Okay, so coming to the instruction decoder sorry. In the instruction decoder, it decodes the instruction loaded in the IR. If the IR is an 8-bit register, then instruction decoder generates 2 power 8. Okay, one for each instruction. Okay, so one for each instruction. So if the IR register is an 8-bit register, okay, so according to it consists of a separate output lines INS1. So for each and every INS1, INS2, for each and every step, each and every sub instruction, we have a separate output line. Okay, so that's why we have to write here INS1, INS2 and so on, INSN. So it consists of separate output lines INS1 through to INS1M for each machine instruction. So for each and every machine instruction, we have a separate output lines. Okay, so according to the code of IR, one of the output lines INS1 through INSM is set to 1. That means from INS1 to INSN, only one instruction is going to be set 1. So rest of all the output lines are set to 0. That means only one instruction is going to be activated. Okay. So coming to the step decoder. So I am explaining once again. So according to the code in the instruction register, so whatever the instruction that is going to be executed, that is instruction 1, instruction from instruction 1 to instruction M, whatever the instruction in between those, what instruction is going to be executed, that is set to 1. The rest of all the instructions are set to 0. Okay. Next, coming to the step decoder. So step decoder provides a separate signal line for each step in the control signals. Okay, so separate line, that's why we have to write here separate clock cycle, separate timing. Okay, for each and every so separate signal line for each step. So for each step in the control sequence, separate timing signals are there. Okay. Next, coming to the encoder, it gets the input from the instruction decoder like step decoder, external inputs. Okay, and condition codes. So it gets input from all instruction decoder, step decoder, external inputs, condition codes. Okay. It uses all these inputs to generate an individual control signal. So by using all this information, the encoder provides a control signal. Okay, that is Y in, PC out, add, comma, end and so on. So for example, so if Zin is T1 plus T6 with the help of add and T4, so this is the diagram for that. So when the Z1 is 1, Z1 Zin is equal to 1 means either all these 3 inputs any one is becomes 1. Okay, so the signal is asserted during the time slot T1 for all instructions, during T6 for an add instruction. So T6 is for add instruction, T4 is for branch instruction. Okay, so this is an example when the Zin is equal to 1. Okay, when run is equal to 1, the counter is incremented by 1 at every clock cycle. When run is equal to 0, counter stops counting. After the execution of each instruction, end signal is generated. Okay, that means already we discussed in the execution of complete execution of an instruction, when we at last step we write end, that means it completes the execution of an instruction. So after the execution of each instruction, end signal is generated. So the end signal resets step counter. So again we continues this, see this diagram. Okay, this end is again reset. Okay, a sequence of operations carried out by this machine is determined by writing of logical circuits, hence the name is called as hardware. Here we have to use logical circuits, okay, for for execute for generating the control signals, okay. Again I am repeating, sequence of operations carried out by this machine is determined by wiring of logic circuits. That's why we call it this as hardware control, okay. So advantage of this is can operate at high speed, okay, and disadvantage is since number of instructions or control lines is often in hundreds, the complexity of control unit is very high. So here so number of control lines are in that means for execute here instruction 1, instruction 2, timing 1, timing, so we have lot of instructions and lot of control lines. That's why we are facing the complexity, okay, we are facing the complexity of the control unit. That's why it is very complex, okay, it is costly and difficult to design. So because more number of instructions or more number of control lines are there, that's why we are for designing this hardware control is difficult, okay, and also costly, okay. The control unit is inflexible because it is difficult to change the design. So once we have to design changing of this design is very difficult. That means it is inflexible, okay. So for this this is the hardware control, okay. Okay, thank you.